If you're planning a cruise, picking the right cabin can make or break your vacation. Today, we're diving into the top 10 cruise ship cabins that you should avoid. Whether you're booking an interior, ocean view, balcony, or suite, these tips apply to all cabin types. Ahoy, travelers! It's Amy here to help you make your travel experience a success. Let's start with a brief description of the 4 types of cruise ship cabins. So you start out with the interior cabin, which is the most budget-friendly option on a cruise ship. They're located inside the ship. These cabins don't have windows or any natural light. It makes them ideal for travelers who don't mind a smaller space and prefer to spend most of their time exploring the ship or out on excursions. So then we have the ocean view cabin. An ocean view cabin offers a window or porthole with a view of the sea, providing the natural light and a scenic outlook. Now these cabins are a great choice for travelers who want to enjoy the view without the extra cost of a balcony. Balcony cabins features a private outdoor space with a small seating area, allowing you to enjoy fresh air and ocean views right from your room. These cabins are perfect for travelers who enjoy spending time in their cabin while still taking in the scenery. And then a suite is the most luxurious cabin option, offering the most space, upgraded amenities, and often additional services like concierge service or butler service. Suites typically include separate living areas and a larger balcony, providing a more premium cruise experience for those who want to travel in style and comfort. So if you are one of those people who can sleep anywhere in any situation, then you probably don't need this video. But if you're like most people and already have a hard time sleeping in a strange bed, or you find that any unusual noises keep you awake, you're going to want to avoid these cabin locations so you can get plenty of rest on your next cruise. First up on our list are adjoining cabins. These cabins have a door connecting them to the next cabin, which is great if you're traveling with family or friends. However, if you're not using that adjoining feature, you might find it less than ideal. The door between the cabins is often not well insulated, which means you'll likely hear your neighbors' conversations, TV, or even their alarm clocks. For those who value peace and quiet, an adjoining cabin might not be the best choice. Number 2, let's talk about cabins located directly underneath the pool deck. Now, while being close to the pool might sound convenient, these cabins can be quite noisy. You'll hear chairs scraping, people running, and even the sound of late night parties or early morning cleanups. On a lot of ships, they have all of those deck chairs put up overnight, and early in the morning, they're out there putting them back up. They're getting drug across the pool deck. It's very loud. If you're someone who likes to sleep in or go to bed early, you might want to avoid these rooms. If you want to be close to the pool, getting a room on the Lido deck, on that pool deck, can be a great choice. Now, we often book rooms on the Lido deck when we sail on Carnival, that's a major hub of activity. Number 3, cabins located under the Promenade deck are another type to avoid. The Promenade is a popular walking area on many ships, which can lead to a lot of noise overhead. Imagine hearing a constant stream of footsteps, jogging, or even dance parties above you. It's not exactly the best way to relax, especially if you're sensitive to noise. Depending on the ship layout, you may want to stay away from any balcony cabins directly above the Promenade deck as well, since there could be outdoor restaurant seating and bars located along the Promenade. Now, if you're opposed to smoking or just don't like the smell, you're definitely going to want to be mindful of this, as there will usually be at least one outdoor smoking area on the Promenade deck, and you probably don't want a balcony located directly above that. Number 4, cabins near large public areas like theaters, nightclubs, or dining rooms can be less than ideal. These areas often stay busy late into the night, and the noise could easily filter into nearby cabins, or cabins underneath will hear a lot of foot traffic. If you prefer a quieter atmosphere, it's best to steer clear of these locations. Now, the worst cabin we have ever had was underneath the gym. There is nothing quite like being woken up first thing in the morning to weights being dropped on the floor overhead. Number 5, cabins near crew access areas are also ones to avoid. The doors to these areas are used frequently by crew members and can lead to a lot of noise from people coming and going at all hours, the doors slamming. You might hear carts rolling down the halls or conversation as the crew goes about their duties. Choosing a cabin away from these areas can help ensure a more peaceful cruise experience. Now, with looking at your ship map, these areas will often be large rooms that have been left blank on the map. Well, we're halfway through our list, and so if you enjoy this video and maybe even learned something, consider subscribing with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any future posts. Number 6, cabins located near stairs and elevators can also be problematic. These areas are high traffic zones, meaning you'll hear a lot of people passing by, especially during meal times or when an event ends. The dinging of the elevators and the sounds of conversation can be pretty disruptive if you're trying to rest. There have been times when I couldn't get a cabin on the deck I wanted because the only ones left were right next to the elevator, and I don't want to be there. So while most people try to keep their voices down in the cabin hallways, they aren't really doing that around the elevators. Number 7 are cabins near the laundry rooms. While not all ships have self-service laundry rooms, you'll definitely want to avoid being next to one if you're on a ship that does have them. The sounds of machines running, doors slamming, people chatting, it can get really loud. Plus, there's often a lot of foot traffic as passengers come and go to do their laundry. It's definitely not the most relaxing environment if you're looking to unwind in your cabin. Number 8, found on some of the bigger ships, mostly on MSC and Royal Caribbean, interior-facing balconies are another cabin type to think twice about. Now, these balconies look inward toward the ship's atrium or promenade instead of out to sea. While they might seem like a fun option and are less expensive than the traditional balconies, they often lack privacy, and then the noise from the central areas can easily reach your cabin. These are overlooking some of the busiest areas of the ship. So if you're someone who enjoys sitting out on your balcony with a good book or a quiet drink, you might find the noise and lack of privacy a bit of a letdown. Number 9, another cabin type you may want to avoid is one with an obstructed view, particularly those near the lifeboats. These cabins can have their ocean view partially or fully blocked by lifeboats or other equipment. And while you might be okay with the obstructed view itself, depending on the cruise line, if it's a lifeboat that's your obstructed view, that may also be doubling as a tender boat, which means your morning lie-in could be interrupted by the sound of winches and crew members offloading those lifeboats. And finally, number 10, cabins on lower decks near the rear of the ship should be avoided. These cabins are closer to the engines, which can lead to a lot of noise and even vibration. Additionally, you might experience more movement in rough seas, which could be uncomfortable if you're prone to seasickness. And there you have it, the top 10 cruise ship cabins to avoid. By keeping these tips in mind, you can choose a cabin that will make your cruise as enjoyable as possible. Now, have you ever stayed in any of these cabins? Let us know your experience in the comments below. Well, are you ready for more information on cruising? Why not stick around and check out this video and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.